Hi, I'm Cynthia Ollie, HRP Associates, and today we're going to review some waste regulations. And the waste regulations we're going to review today would be our universal waste as pertaining to aerosol cans. So we're on site today to cover two options you have for used aerosol cans. Our first option will be to discard the aerosol can and the contents as whole, intact, as universal waste. And the second option is to puncture the can. We're going to demonstrate that today on site. Follow me, because we're going to demonstrate how to use a can puncture for our aerosol cans with Lewis today. Thank you, Lewis, for coming out today and assisting us in showing how to use the aerosol can puncture. So before we start, as you see, Lewis here has his proper PPE on. So you need to ensure that whatever material that you are puncturing, that you understand the safety hazards. So today he has on his safety goggles, and he's also going to use a face shield. He has on something to protect his clothing, and he has on his safety gloves. So we have determined here that we have a used or spent can of paint. The material he has is an aerosol can, and at this point, this can is considered used. So that means that there's no other content on the inside that they can use. So Lewis, let's show them how to use this. We're at the can puncture, and Lewis is going to open the can puncture. And this particular can puncture has a screw-in mechanism. So he's going to open the mechanism, unscrew it. He's going to open the lid, remove the top lid from the aerosol paint can or the aerosol you're using. Place it inside of the puncturing device. Place the lid on top. He will screw the mechanism in order to hold the can in. Now that the can's in place, as you see, Lewis will continue to hold one hand on top while he is pressing the lever that will then puncture. Did you hear that? Hope so. That was the gases being released from the can. And if you're using this type of device, as you can see along the side, outside of the can, is a carbon absorption filter. So that filter is absorbing any volatile organic compounds, any contents that were in there, so that it will not pollute the air. So that device must be on the can when using a can puncture. So Lewis now is just going to double check. He placed it back in the can puncture. He's going to press that lever again to make sure all the contents are out. We didn't hear anything that time, so there are no content left in the can. He removes the can by loosening the screw, removing the lid on top. Now, the important part is this can now is considered recyclable. So now we're going to put it in the recyclable bin. He's going to place the lid on top because this is a hazardous waste, because the hazardous waste determination was conducted. Now it's on there tight, and we're done. Remember, the lid must be on top of the drum based on the regulations for RCRA. The drum also, because we have noted this as flammable, that this drum is also grounded. I want to note again that a hazardous waste stream determination was previously conducted. Therefore, we have our drum labeled as a hazardous waste, identifying also those hazards that are associated with it. This one is flammable. Thank you, Lewis. He has showed us how to use the aerosol can puncture as pertaining to the universal waste regulations in RCRA. We're going to complete a hazardous waste label. This is an example. You want to make sure that you are completing each blank on the label, first by the name of the corporation, the address. Now, what's important about this is that you're going to place that EPA ID number that you received. And again, this is an example. And you have completed a form and notified the state, and they will return and give you a number. EPA waste ID codes are based on your hazardous waste stream determination. And for this particular one, it will be F003, F005, and D001. We will not fill out the accumulation start date because this particular container will be located in a satellite accumulation area, and you're not required to put the accumulation start date. We will leave the state manifest tracking number blank also because we are not shipping this waste today. We are placing this label on a container in order to collect waste. Now your label may look different. This label in the middle is asking for the UN or NA number, and this is UN 1263. Now in the next block, we're going to place the information which is called the proper shipping name for our hazardous waste. Now for this one, it has a RQ, UN 1263. The proper shipping name is waste paint related material, hazard class 3, and a packaging group 3. Now we have determined this information because we have been trained through DOT. So you must ensure that this information is correct in this label because this label is used on the container for DOT shipping. Welcome back. Today we're going to discuss discarding used aerosol cans under the Universal Waste Regulations. So we're on site today, and thank you, Louis, for joining us today. And Louis is going to show us how to discard of our used aerosol cans. Now we're on site and they have special PPE on site, so that's why we have on our safety glasses. So that is required to be here on site. Your site may be different, but we're following the rules here at this location. So we have our drum. So first of all, you want to get a drum that is compatible to the contents you're going to put inside. Next, you're going to label the drum. You always want to label the drum so you'll know what contents are inside. Now, as you see, we have a universal waste label. This label is completed with the contents. Let's fill out a universal waste label. The contents would be used aerosol cans. You always want to place the date of the first can that goes into the drum. Also, you want to include the generator's information on the label. Now, this is an example. We leave no blanks. Now we're ready to take our label and place it on our container in order to start using it to collect used aerosol cans. Used aerosol cans. And then what's special about universal waste is that the accumulation start date. The start date is the date that you place the first used aerosol can in the drum. So we labeled it with today's date. This is a completed label. There's no additional labels that are needed for this drum. But what is special about universal waste is that there is a 1-year disposal rule. So therefore, the first can that goes inside of the drum, the label must be labeled with that date. That's a lot of L's. So we have a date of today. So we got a brand new drum just for you today. So Louis, let's show them what we're going to do. You're going to open the drum. And you're going to dispose the can in there. We're going to close the drum. Now we're closing the drum because under universal waste, we want to ensure that the material stays on the side of the drum, no spilling. The lid is on top. We have our bungs in place on the lids to ensure again that nothing is going to escape. So we're finished. It's easy. All you have to do is place the used aerosol can inside of a drum and also label it with the proper contents, including the date, and you're done. So that is universal waste regulations for aerosol cans. Thank you for joining us today. Now, subscribe, like, and hit the bell for notification. And on to our next video.